everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmaud Shakur show. Also, to those of you on the Queen Ahmaud Shakur TV show and those on Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, Queen Ahmaud Shakur, and this is today's Daily Vitamin. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. Make sure you subscribe to all three so that you don't miss anything. Also, don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmaud Shakur. You can follow the Queen Ahmaud Shakur fan page, and you can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Please don't send me DMs to the Queen Ahmaud Shakur fan page because I don't control that page, okay? My chief moderator does. So with that all being said, let's get into it. Hello, Byron, Derek, Bobby, Melanated Brown, Fema Bell, Silent D is in the house. All right, Monica, Brianna, I see you. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's get into it. So the Devils have been found guilty of a hate crime. Arbery's killers were found guilty in their hate crime trial today. And here's what happened inside the court. So the jury found all of them guilty. And then after the verdict was read, there was no discernible reaction from the three defendants, Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael, or William Roddy Bryan. Judge Lisa Godby Wood addressed each of the defendants and their attorneys to inform them they have 14 days to file a post-trial motion, any post-trial motions that they may have, and that the U.S. Probation Office would conduct a pre-sentencing interview before the sentencing hearing is scheduled. Now, when defendants went before the judge, all three responded by either saying yes, yes, ma'am, or whatever, acknowledging that they understood what was said. So I'm going to show a clip. I'm going to show a clip of the news report and then also what Ahmaud Arbery's mother had to say following the verdict, okay? Now, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland spoke to the press following today's verdict as well. Garland said that Arbery was targeted, chased, shot, and killed by the three men charged in the case while he was running on a public street. Garland said that it was racism that fueled them during their pursuit and murder of Ahmaud Arbery. He also said that Arbery's death an enduring trauma for his family and loved ones. He says, "My heart goes out to his parents." And he also added that it is an unimaginable loss that they have endured. Garland said that hate crimes have a singular impact because of the terror and fear that they inflict on entire communities. He said that nobody in this country should fear that when they go out for a run, they should never fear that they'll be targeted and killed because of the color of their skin. Now, the Attorney General was asked about comments made after the verdict for Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, in which she criticized the DOJ for originally accepting a plea deal for Arbery's killers in the case. And he said, "I cannot imagine the pain that a mother feels to have her son gunned down like Arbery." And then once again said his heart goes out to them. So I'm going to show a news clip, as I told you, and then I'll let you hear what Ahmaud's mother had to say. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share, subscribe to the channels if you haven't already done so. Thank you in advance.
Right now, all three of Ahmaud Arbery's killers found guilty on federal hate crimes charges. Jurors agreeing race factored into their decisions to grab guns, jump into their trucks, chase, and ultimately kill the unarmed black men 2 years ago this week. CBS 46's Haley Mason live in Glenn County right now, where Arbery's family members and their legal team are reacting to this verdict. Haley, they came out with a victory kind of stance from the courtroom today.
Karen, guilty on all charges. That is the unanimous verdict that this jury rendered today. Not even 4 full hours of deliberating, and they came back with this verdict this morning. They had a question this morning asking the judge, how do we read this verdict form? And that signaled to us that they were getting close in seeking what this community has called for, which has been justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Greg McMichael, Travis McMichael, and William Roddy Bryan have been convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery because he was a Black man. The jury found that all three men are guilty of violating Ahmaud Arbery's civil rights when they interfered with his ability to run through the public streets of Satilla Shores by blocking him with their trucks, with their weapons. This all resulted in Ahmaud Arbery's death, the jury found. The men also were guilty of attempted kidnapping, and Greg and Travis McMichael were found guilty of using a firearm during a crime. Now, we know that the family has been here day in and day out. The mother has been in most of the time. This family walked out of court today shouting victory. This is 2 years after Ahmaud Arbery was murdered. They said they hoped that this verdict would come before tomorrow, which is the 2-year anniversary of Ahmaud Arbery's death. Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, thanked the worldwide community of supporters, but she also took the time to lambast the DOJ for trying to push forward a plea deal with the defendants right before this trial. She said that's something that happened against her wishes. Listen in at Ahmaud Arbery's mother responding to this verdict.
It's been a very long, stressful fight for the members of the community, for the city of Brunswick, the state of Georgia, for the people who stood with us through the nation of the United States of America. We would not be standing here today without each and every one of you. I told the DOJ that yes, they were prosecutors, but one thing they didn't have a son that was lying in a cold grave.
Come on now. All right. Come on.
And they still didn't hear my cry. Okay. So again, we got a victory today, but it's so many families out there who don't get victories because of people that we have fighting for us.
And Ahmaud Arbery's mother went on to say she will never heal from this, but instead of Ahmaud Arbery resting in peace, she said he can now rest in power. I asked Wanda Cooper Jones how it felt to see that a Black man stood up as the jury foreman to issue this guilty verdict. And she said she felt that jury foreman could see himself in Ahmaud Arbery. They wore their hair in a similar style. They had a similar complexion. And she said it was almost full circle to see him lead this jury to an all guilty verdict. And she thanked the entire jury for these convictions. Meanwhile, the attorneys for the family are moving forward with a civil lawsuit against Glenn County and the former district attorney Jackie Johnson, who failed to bring any charges or prosecute the McMichaels, who she was close with. They're saying that's their next step in seeking full justice. But again, they plan to spend this anniversary thankful that Ahmaud Arbery's death, they say, at least received federal and criminal guilty convictions. Reporting live outside of the federal courthouse in Glenn County, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Okay, so with that all being said, as you can see, Benjamin Crump has a whole slew of other people that he, in fact, is going to sue civilly, okay? Where will they be spending their time, in state prison or federal? That's a good question, beloved. I'm just waiting to find out about that. And I hope that it's the state prison because, remember, they requested to be in a federal prison. They think that's going to be better for them, okay? Alana says, I am so glad that they are not done running them pockets. Absolutely, honey. Benjamin Crump is not playing any games. He's sued any and everybody who had anything nefarious to do with it. And you can rest assured that he at least will win that, right? Okay, so hold on just a moment. I'm going to play another clip of his mother speaking because I don't think that was all that she said. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share.
I now want to address the members of the DOJ. I'm very thankful that you guys brought these charges of hate crime. But back on January the 31st, you guys accepted a plea deal with these 3 murderers who took my son's life. Marcus and 2 of Ahmaud's aunties stood before the courts and begged the judge not to take a plea deal that the DOJ That the DOJ went before the judge and asked them to take a plea deal with these guys.
We did. That's a mother.
Attorney Ben Crump just called these women, just called her name, Christian Clark. As I traveled to Brunswick on that Sunday afternoon, I spoke to Christian Clark and the lead attorney, Tara Lyons, begging them to please not take this plea deal. They ignored my cry. I begged them. Even after the family stood before the judge and asked the judge to not take this plea deal, the lead prosecutor, Tara Lyons, stood up and asked the judge to ignore the family's cry.
Justice.
That's not justice for Ahmaud.
Come on.
What we got today, we wouldn't have gotten today if it wasn't for the fight that the family put up on January the 31st. What the DOJ did today, they was made to do today.
Come on.
It wasn't because what they wanted to do.
Taxpayers.
They were made to do their job today.
All right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Sean says, look, we're still looking for their justice. I would have paid somebody in jail, and that's all she wrote. Clearly nefarious, Sean. All right, clearly nefarious. So anyway, so here's a little bit more of insight of what happened actually inside the courtroom. Now, the jury foreperson, one of 3 Black jurors, was emotional during the court's reading of the verdict, and while the jury was being polled, wiping away tears. Okay, he was visibly upset. Now, according to the pool, Wanda Cooper Jones, the mother of Arbery, remained attentive during the reading of the verdict, looking straight ahead. Marcus Arbery Sr., Arbery's father, nodded his head, swayed back and forth, and at times clasped his hands together as the clerk went through each of the counts. Now, Lee McMichael, mother of Travis McMichael and wife of Gregory McMichael, remained stoic. After the verdict came down, the only person that remained sitting was Lee McMichael. The Arbery family, supporters, and the prosecuting attorneys were on their feet, embracing and congratulating one another. Judge Wood thanked the jury and acknowledged the attorneys in the case, telling prosecutors that they had a difficult task due to the nature of the charges. She also told defense counsel that although they were appointed by the court, they represented their clients zealously. She adjourned, saying no one need wonder whether they got a fair trial or whether the attorneys were skillful. They did, and they were. So with that all being said, the jurors deliberated for about 3 hours and 40 minutes, according to the pool. Anytime the jury is done deliberating quickly, it's usually guilty. Okay. Gerald Field said Black people need a secret ops. Tracy said, I feel bad for her no matter with all this. When she goes home, her son is not there and won't be. Absolutely. It's still very sad. Absolutely. FBI Indigo says we definitely need to continue to stay away and not fellowship with these devils. Many of our people will continue to look for acceptance from them. Absolutely. This is just what it is. That's why we'll always have coons and buffoons. People who are not happy with themselves and with the skin, comfortable with the skin they're in. And they would prefer to have a table at the head of wannabe supremacists. And that's just what it's always going to be. There will always be some who throw the rest of us under the bus. At the end of the day, I'm glad the devils got what was coming to them, but I only hope that they are spending their time in a state prison and with no type of protection, put them in general population. That's where they belong. That's where they belong. Let them deal with what they have done, right? Showing them no favoritism. That's all I'm hoping for. And also, I do believe that Benjamin Crump is going to sue the prosecutor and the 2 prosecutors who recused themselves from the situation because they were friends with Gregory McMichael. Okay, so hopefully he's going to sue them as well. Silent B says more chickens still coming home to roost. if these demons keep running amok. So anyway, that's, like I said, we already expected pretty much this verdict. I'm sure most of us did. Now the question is just where they're going to spend their time. And Lindsay, the sister who snapped that photo, I don't recall them saying anything about her being in court. And at the last court proceeding for the state trial, I don't recall seeing her there either. I wonder where she was, somewhere hiding under a rock. And at the end of the day, the whole family is wicked, racist, and evil, and that's apparent. Because what kind of psychopath takes a picture of a person's dead body as they lay out in the street? And then she said she did that because she was a true crime fan. Yeah, she did that because she was a sick psychopath. And I want you to pay attention because, as I tell you all the time, the devils have not changed. Racist people are still the same as they ever were and the same as their ancestors. Lindsay McMichael ran out there and took that snapshot of Ahmaud's body as he lay there in the street. She did that because she wanted a souvenir, just like their ancestors wanted souvenirs after lynchings. And that's absolutely what Ahmaud's murder was, a public lynching. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I just wanted to give you all the update on this. I know we found out during the last live that the guilty verdict had come in, and I just wanted to really share with you what the mother had to say. I do think that the father spoke later. I don't have the footage of him, though. So not that any of us missed it, I'm sure. But anyway, with that all being said, yes, absolutely. Rashana said sick devils. Absolutely. That's exactly what they are. And you know what's amazing, though? I want you to pay attention because during the duration of the trial, they kept trying to imply that they weren't, not that they weren't racist, because clearly they are. They couldn't even deny that. But they wanted to keep trying to act as though just because they're racist and said racist things and have done racist things in the past, that has nothing to do with the reason they killed Ahmaud Arbery. As if it actually wasn't a hate crime. I mean, that just made no sense to me that their stupid defense attorneys even went along with saying that. They sounded so ridiculous. Okay, they really sounded ridiculous. And they had court-appointed attorneys trying to cry broke. I'm sure that Gregory McMichael has some money from his pension from the 30 years that he worked in law enforcement. And I, for one, hope that Benjamin Crump and Ahmaud Arbery's parents take every single dime of it. Okay? I hope they take every single dime because they surely can. All they have to do is sue for it. Right? So anyway, everyone, please enjoy the rest of this day. I hope to see you all in the next chat. Don't forget to do something productive and constructive, right? And until next time, royal beloveds, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.